Good morning. Um, Today it's going to be a special live. We knew that I'd be live streaming from here the monthly meeting for the monthly Targeted Justice monthly meeting. Eh, Unfortunately, we had planned to have a physical meeting and a live stream, a virtual live stream, but the physical meeting cannot happen for some reasons beyond our control. So, keeping our promise that we're not going anywhere and that we're going to continue fighting the criminals until we shut them down, expose them, prosecute them, and make sure they never hurt anybody again. We're here hoping that just God covers this little space because we have a lot to cover in terms of what has been happening, and it's really good for the community and activism that we need from you. So I hope that many of you, join our live stream. I want to make sure. Okay, so the setup I have here, I want to make sure I'm seeing your comments. Um, Let me see. I want to make sure, number one, that you can hear me, and that I can see your comments, because the gremlins have been more. Good morning, Tracy. Thank you. You're in YouTube, right? Okay. Well, the criminals have been more aggressive than ever, as you all know. Let me try to fix this light here. They have been more aggressive than ever, and just this week, they made me very very sick. On the day of the gavel, but the day before they made me very sick. But that didn't stop me from doing the gavel, even though I was on, in my best condition. Anyway, let's go into the things that we need to discuss, which is yesterday. For those of you that were aware of it, yesterday was a really good day in the fight for our freedom. Finally, Mr. Patel seems to have woken up from the slumber that he was, and he fired Mr. Jensen, that he had promoted in DC, and he fired him, and he's one of the criminals that destroyed the lives of the J6ers. So this finally, we're starting to see things going in a good direction. I want to share with you some of the things that are going on that are just, like in one day we had like 10 good news. Okay. We have former CIA Bill Barr, who now seems to be also a criminal. We knew it before because he was a CIA and he was attorney general. Well, now it's been discovered that he plotted with Fannie Willis to do lawfare on President Trump. And you're going to say, okay, well, I don't care about President Trump. I don't like him, whatever you want to say. But here is the truth. All the mechanisms that these criminals used against him at a greater scale are the same ones that are being used against us. So once it is exposed what they did to him, all the lawfare, how they used all these mechanisms to spy on his conversations with FISA warrants on the people around him, and they listed. Let me get you the image of, see if I can find it here, of the people they listed that they had targeted. Well, and they put it like that: target Enrique Tarrio. Well, they didn't put his. They put his noble one, the noble one. That is his Twitter handle. Enrique Tarrio, Jim Jordan, that we know is compromised, and I think probably that's why he's compromised, and because he didn't want to undergo all this lawfare. Well, that's why he didn't talk, right? He didn't investigate our cases, which is what all of us, hundreds of people in our community, wrote to him, and he could care less. Now we know he has two babysitting former FBI working in his office that have been exposed by the Air Marshal's National Council as 2 liars working in Jim Jordan's office. Why does he have former FBI working in his office watching him? That's why he couldn't, in his committee for government weaponization, he couldn't do anything about the biggest weaponization that is going on in America, which is the Unacknowledged Special Access Program of targeted individuals. Here, this airplane started just now. They are just so obsessed. Okay, now let's go into what we need to cover this week, which is number one, write. We are doing a campaign for people to write to President Trump. Let me see if I can get the comments going here, because please bear with me a little bit. I'm not seeing them here in StreamYard. I'm only seeing from hi Hamburg, hi Tia, hi hi Andre. Okay, Andre, here's a problem. Help. Here's before I go into today. Help. Here, Andre, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take you as an example. But we at Targeted Justice, we're fighting for everybody. Either everybody is free or no one. I cannot just go help one person. I am helping everybody. I am trying to help everybody. You know, whether I have a little triumph today or not, it doesn't matter. I'm going to continue. They made me sick. I continued. I am not going to stop until my last breath, until we're free. So it is inappropriate. And I have to repeat it again because people don't seem to get the message. Stop calling me for legal advice, except the people that know that they are allowed to call me, because I am not going to take your calls if I don't know your phone number. Okay? I am not. And if I do, I'll be really rude, because I have told you all the time. I am fighting for everybody. I am not going to discriminate against 6 million people only to take your case. I'm sorry. We are planning on doing some other stuff, but it's going to be a group thing, not an individual thing. So sorry, Andre, but no. And also there's just people that are writing to me, and I appreciate it, and I save your emails. But you have to understand that I am only admitted in very limited jurisdictions. And I'm sorry if I repeat myself, but the criminals are watching me to see if I step out of line in order to come after me, just like they did to so many people that have denounced criminals. Okay? So, yes, Dory, thank you. Share and subscribe and like, because as you know, we are heavily censored, and unless, I am one person, but you can reach thousands. And we're going to talk about that in a moment, because that's exactly the reason why we need digital warriors. Even if you're not like affiliated with Targeted Justice, it's just we need your words, your posts to go out to normies. We are reaching normies. We need to keep on doing it. Okay? I am going to put on the screen the yesterday's post. It's all the ways that you can reach President Trump. Listen, even if you don't like him, we need to be respectful. And we need to realize he's the person in power. And we have to realize he's targeted. Because I don't know if you saw the news a week ago. It was reported his feet are swelling, his hands are swelling, and all the press all of a sudden, oh my God, he's old, he's sick, he's going to die. No, he's being microwaved. And the reason I know that is because many of you get the same thing. Your swollen hands, your swollen feet with edema, for no reason at all, because his salt is okay, his salt intake is good, he doesn't have diabetes, he has a clean bill of health. But it's the plausible deniability that the criminals count on with their silent weapons. And he needs to understand that that's what they're doing to it. One of my suggestions, and this, what I'm going to show you right now, is the following. You can say, demand. You are the president is the commander in chief. Demand from the United States Space Force that they show you the firing logs within United States GPS coordinates. That's all you have to ask of directed energy weapons. And when he sees that these weapons are being fired at the White House, things can change. If he gets 50 of these messages, you can ask him, if you don't have the security clearance, ask Secretary Hexeth to demand to see the firing logs within of GPS coordinates within the United States, and ask them, why are you firing electromagnetic weapons within our nation? Because as you know, none of the armed forces are supposed to wage war at its citizens. It's called the Posse Comitatus Act. They're not supposed to wage war at our own people. So that could be a short snippet. I'm going to share with you this. And let's go through it, because there's another one that I need you to go through. We're preparing for targeted action. Don't go away, because we're going to talk about that. I've had a lot of questions from there. And yeah, that's true. I respect him. President Trump, I have to give it to him. He doesn't drink. He doesn't do drugs. And in an environment like him, like, oh my God, I'm sure he can get like the most amazing wine and champagne. And he has such a strong will. He doesn't even touch that stuff. So let me share this with you, and let's go through it. Let's do this exercise here, because share screen here, targeted justice here. Contact Trump. This newsletter, as you know, is done for your benefit. It's free. We very much welcome the people that subscribe. Just yesterday, I got an email from one of our subscribers who wanted to subscribe, and the criminals were not letting them subscribe. Well, one of the alternatives you can do is do like he did, write to us, and you can send a check in the mail, which of course we know that the criminals at the post office will interfere with, but it's okay. You know what? We have survived this far. Fighting back so much criminality from the government weaponization that is what we need to make these people understand in Washington. The government weaponization is not just against President Trump or against Mr. Tarrio. No, it's against the average American that doesn't have a voice. Oh, they don't like it. They're taking it out. Okay, so this was yesterday's newsletter. And as you can see here you can contact. Oh, this is the second part. I'll go to the first part afterwards. Here you have Miss Melania Trump's contact information that you can official contact information through which you can contact her. Please don't go into these long rants. One of the things you can do is this: Miss Melania, Mrs. Trump, you have been on high heels all your life. Isn't it weird how on the day of the inauguration you could not stand your feet? Go read, and let me look for it here. I'll look for it here, and you have to see it, because well, I'll show it to you. I wrote a post. I grew up in high heels, and one of the things that the criminals is that they microwave my feet so I cannot stand them, and the pain is so unbearable that it's literally it's torture. And that's what happened to her on the day of the inauguration. And it's really weird, because she wouldn't have worn the shoes if they had if she had problems with them before. So that's one of the links you can send her, and say, ask the commander-in-chief to demand from the United States Space Force their firing logs. We have to expose these traitors. And also the fact that the CIA, you can write this there, the CIA has access to the weapons through the Space Force. Okay? So here you have Ivanka Trump, you have Donald Trump Jr., and Eric Trump. These are his family, right? Linda McMahon and Thomas Barrack, close friend. Okay? Advisors, Susie Wiles, Stephen Miller, who is like absolutely awesome, and I wish he's just so incredible. And I think he's a very fair man, and I think that if any of you got through to him, um, it would make a huge difference because he is a person that he gets things done. I think that if he finds out that little 3-year-old girls are being tortured with microwave auditory effect, which I can attest to under penalty of perjury of the United States of America, of the laws of the United States of America, and so can many of you. Well, I think that if he found out about that, he would be irate, and he would do anything it takes to shut this down, because there is no reason for the criminals at the Space Force and the CIA. Actually, we think it's the CIA that is in charge of the V2K. So there is no reason in the world for CIA domestic operations to exist, because they are in violation of Executive Order 12333. There is no reason in the world for them to torture anybody, let alone American citizens. And even worse, it is so horrifically illegal for them to invade the privacy of your brain, to manipulate it, and to interpret your thoughts, and to be 2 steps ahead of you. I'm just so disgusted by these criminals. Anyway, so that's one of them. This one here. The other one was here. Contact Trump. This one has all these other alternatives. There's no excuse. I'm gonna write you. There's no excuse. Look at all these alternatives you have. You can do this. Please, please, don't go into delusional messages. You know what I think? I think that people that go into delusional messages are really perps, because they are trying, like the soldier that shoots itself in the foot. They just want to be out of the race. And I really, really believe that, just stick. It's not about you. It's about over 300. We know it's in the millions, but the evidence we have, over 300,000 Americans, 278,000 FISA applications. Havana syndrome, silent epidemic that Kennedy is going to have to deal with this when it explodes. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, do not make it about your obscure thing. Make it about the collective. That is when they'll pay attention to you. If you make it about yourself, they're not going to pay attention, because they are concerned about the common good. Some of them are, at least, like Thomas Massey, for example, and Rand Paul. So some are just concerned about themselves, right? But there are many that are concerned about the common good and about themselves too. So anyway, so here you have official Donald Trump website, donaldjtrump.com. You have his office there, a White House. There's a contact form. One of the things that I did in my contact to them was that I put at the end, I'm going to continue writing to you until you acknowledge that you received my email. And they did. So, like, they didn't want me, So be clever about it. Excuse me, I just had to. I'm like Scott Adams having my coffee. Trump Organization. Well, there you have targeted justice. As I was saying before, we are getting people unsubscribed. I don't know if it's Substack doing it. I don't know if it's Stripe. We don't know. Okay. But the truth is that you have to, just as you do in so many other aspects of your life, where they try to curtail your doing something important that you need to do. Well, this is important if you are a subscriber, a paid subscriber, because targeted justice, criminals have done everything to curtail our income, including the people from the community that have horrifically defamed us without a shred of evidence. But you know what? That's not for us to determine. That's for God, because He says that vengeance is mine, not yours. So but for those of you that acknowledge and support our efforts 7 days a week, we appreciate your subscription to Targeted Justice Newsletter. Okay, so here we go. What information, targeted action, many people have asked me, let me stop sharing this. Targeted action, many people have asked me, what do we, how do we contact our senator and our representative? And in here, I'm going to put in the chat. Michael, thank you. God bless you. I really needed that. This week has been particularly hard. I'm not going to forget about putting the link here, but I just want to address Michael. You guys and women and little girls, you have no idea what a difficult week this has been. Just the fact that we're not constantly typing or doing live videos of the horrific things that they're doing to us doesn't mean they're not happening. Because we're here to provide a rock for you, strength for you, something you can hold on to, because good things are happening and the criminals want you to think otherwise. And we're here to tell you the truth. Good things are happening, and you have to hold on to God and to that inner strength that has brought you here to this day. Okay? So let me put in the link here. I'm going to put here in the chat. Okay? If you don't know who your congressmen and senators are, here are the links. You have no excuse. We need you. First of all, here it is. First of all, there's people coming from Europe, okay? So if you live in the United States, I understand. I understand the financial situation. Remember, I'm a TI too. So, but if there's people that are traveling from Europe making huge sacrifices, I urge you to do an examination if it's something that you can do, okay? Because in the tri-state area, we have Pennsylvania, we have New Jersey, we have New York, and then there's states around there that there's a lot of targeted individuals, and we know it because we get their emails. So Tranquility and TI events have the share ride going on, and there are ways to make it. Like one dear TI asked me, how about camping site, the list of camping sites or trailer parks, or there's just be creative, just like you have been creative to this day, getting through. You want to be part of history. We want to knock on the doors of people like Senator Ron Johnson, who has Havana syndrome. For those of his constituents, we need you to make an appointment with him. We need to go in there and speak about why he has Havana syndrome if he doesn't know yet. Remember, he is doing really important investigation about the origins of 9/11. 20 years later, 23 years later, it seems that now it can be spoken about Building 7. Now we can speak about the fact that it was an airplanes that brought down those towers, but a pollution, an implosion, and a plan to create a Stasi state of which we are victims. So those of you Ron Johnson constituents, I need you to go. I know it's in Arizona, but there are ride shares coming from Arizona. Go to otievents.org, please. Then we have Rand Paul. He is investigating the weaponization of the Quiet Skies, but we need to bring him the receipts that it's not just the Quiet Skies. Quiet Skies, it's a subdivision, a subsection of the entire problem that originates at the FBI with the terrorist screening database blacklist, which comprises 97% of the list. He needs to understand what happens with the weapons. It's not just air marshals following you around. Okay? So the people in Rand Paul's district, please. Also, we have, let me see here. Also, we have Thomas Mann, who is being sort of censored and shadow banned by the current government, but he's a truth teller. He's an honest man. And if we can reach to him, he is in a position now to denounce the corruption. So those of you in his district, please make an effort. I know it's a little far away, it's Tennessee, but we need you to make an effort. Okay? Transhumanism, let me see. Integration of robotics. Yeah. Look, Faris again. Here we go. My story. No. We all have stories that could be made into 10 seasons of Netflix. I know that. Look here. I don't know if I have it. I don't have it readily, but I got the notebooks from a victim in Georgia. That as I was reading them, it's just tears running down my eyes, my cheeks, because of the sheer wickedness of these criminals towards this humble Christian lady. You know, I hear the stories every day. It's not about you. And I know people are being mind controlled into thinking they're the most targeted person in the world. All of you are the most targeted persons in the world. Because you know what? For us, for each one of us, our life is most important. For once, I ask you, please think for the common good, because it's like I say, you know what? And I told a dear Simone, I wish I could have her comments. I'm not seeing are we seeing the Facebook? Yeah, I'm seeing the Facebook comments here. It's just like I told dear Simone. I said, we have suffered so much that I know that if Jesus were to come today, we're riding in his bus. We're going with him. Now think of the criminals that are doing what they do to us. They're not going anywhere. They're going straight to hell. And if there is one thing about this program that we have to humbly be grateful for, is that it has helped us become better spiritually. Some haven't. Some went across to the other side of Satan. But most people have become better people, more humble, more compassionate, more understanding of good and evil, more faithful in God. And that is what most of us that are still here today have in common, that we have held on to the power of God that has brought us here, surviving military grade weaponry, surviving espionage with NSA computers, espionage from the infraguard criminals that hack all our devices. You're a hero, and we're ready for it. We're ready for anything that comes. Now, so we had this week we had like 170 so far people that have enrolled for targeted action 2025. As I mentioned, I'm going to be sending an email probably tonight. Please subscribe if you're going to go. Here's the first thing: do not enroll or say you're going to go if you're not sure, because that presents a problem for us later in terms of logistics. We need to ask for permits. We need to have a pretty fair assessment of how many people are going to be there, so that we can divide and give you a choice of venues. We also need to know how many banners we're going to have. We're not going to order 20 banners if we're only going to have enough people for 4 venues. So I ask you to be considerate in this sense. And if you do enroll, then send us an email saying, no, I'm not going to go. T-Justice2 at proton.me, and I also have targeted action at targeted action 2025 at proton.me. Let me make sure that I am telling you the truth, because I don't want to say something that is not correct. Hold on. It's targeted action. That goes straight to me, okay? Because I am 2025. Because I am doing the lists. Yeah. Targeted action 2025. Let me write it in the chat here so people see it. Hi, Mary from Canada. Okay, targeted action 2025 at proton.me. Okay, so that's where you're going to get your email from, confirming your registration. And for those of you that have not paid yet, okay, I'm going to put here the link so that you can make the $35 payment. And here, let me see here. I'm going to put it here in the chat too, so that you can make the payment and send me a screenshot at targeted action 2025. You send me a screenshot of it so that I can just have my Excel spreadsheet ready. Now, you say, why do we need to pay for this? Okay, we're making banners, like big banners, like the one of, how I have a criminal salesman banner that I post it all the time. And we're going to make huge banners that are going to be different from the ones in Colorado, because the ones in Colorado were geared at the Space 4 traders. These ones are going to be geared at congressmen, at senators, at the people in power to pull the plug on this criminal program. So we have to make new ones, okay? We also have to make thousands of flyers, because we're going to be on the mall giving them away to people, creating awareness. And for you to give them to your representative or your senator when you meet with them. So we have a lot of overhead expense in this. It's buffering. Okay. Can you hear me good now? Please, somebody tell me. No, Amanda, thank you so much for that comment. Please, somebody tell me Somebody tell me if you can hear me well, and or if it's buffering. Can you please tell me that? Yes. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. Now, thank you, Anandita. Thank you for your comment. There is a criminal impersonating me in Facebook. I put the comment on the screen. That is not my email. Okay? Please write this down and share it with everyone. This is a perp impersonating me. Do not send your info. Look, I'm never going to write to you and ask, are you a targeted individual? Hello? No. This, you should be smarter. You should be clever. Do not give away your information to just anybody. This person is using my profile picture, but if you go to the top, to the address line in Facebook, I'm going to write you here, which is mine. Mine is this. If in the address line of that profile doesn't say A Toledo PR, that's not me. So please share it with everybody. This email, Ana Toledo, Ana162@gmail.com, is not my email. This is an impersonator, a perp. What we believe that the criminals are doing now, and hi criminals, for all of you watching, we're coming for you. What we believe that they're doing is that they are harvesting data from you, because I don't think they know the extent of the damages and the harm they have perpetrated. And now they're scared because they know their days are numbered. Thanks to Tulsi Gabbard, bless her, and God protect her. Okay? So what I'm saying is, do not write the official, I'm going to put it here again, targeted action 2025 at proton.me. That is the correct. I don't know if you can see the people. I'm not seeing the comments from. Let me see if I can see the comments from Rumble here. Please be patient with me, because although I am supposed to get the comments from Rumble here, I'm not getting them. So I don't. If you're writing to me in Rumble, I'm not seeing them. I wish Ortain was there, so that Ortain, if you're here, if you can copy and paste them into here. Let me just sign in here 1 second. Give me 1 second to put the comments here to justice. Okay, so please, everybody, make a post in Facebook, because I made a post, but as you know, my Facebook, I think it's like a mirror to Facebook. I don't think it's like my real page. I think that they don't let me see my real page. So I rely on you to spread the word here that Anandita put in here. That is not my email, and that is not me contacting you. I know that this person contacted my friend Maddie. So Maddie she could tell. And this person also contacted Darren Langton, one of our digital warriors. So please do not fall for it. It's a lie. It's a complete and total lie. Okay, let me see if I'm here. Give me 1 sec. Yes. Okay. Okay. Here I see your comments. This is good. 60 minute on Havana syndrome. Good. Yeah. Well, that show. If that's the show, Darren. Good. I can hear you. Perfect. Okay. So okay. I'm trying to see the comments on both sides, and I hope it just works this way. Anyways, going back to targeted action. We're going to provide you with the flyers. We're going to provide you with the talking points on the day that you come in on the 5th. We're going to have we're going to plan a small talk with you, those of you that are going to meet with your legislators, and also because we're going to be in public venues reaching out to people. So we will give you, you know, capsules of good talking points to capture the attention of passersby that uh, those are the people we need to reach. We don't need to preach to our choir here, you know. I know I'm preaching here to our choir because this is our community, but we need to go. But people outside of our community don't watch this live stream except for the criminals that all they're obsessed with everything we say, right? But so let me remove this from here. Again, this is not my this is not my email. So that's who we want to reach. We want to reach people outside of our community, and that is the purpose of targeted action, and that's why we need you there. And that's why when you're going to go visit your legislator, you're not going to go dressed as Fetterman. You're going to go dressed as if you're going to a job interview. So please plan on bringing at least, you know, one semi-formal kind of, not formal, but you know, like as if you're going to a job interview, because that's because you know what, whether you like it or not, we are judged by our appearance. So we have to look professional. We have to look uh, that we deserve attention. So if we go there with broken jeans, they're not gonna pay attention because it's a matter of respect. Okay. So anyway, yesterday I talked to. Okay, something is happening in Rumble, and I see it. It's frozen. Rumble is frozen. Can you see me? Can somebody in Facebook tell me? Well, Facebook. Look, Facebook has been consistently. Please, somebody tell me if you can see me or you can hear me, because I see that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I see here that it was frozen. So okay. Anyways, Sandra, thank you. Okay. As you know, Facebook is deep state, and one of the things I want to tell all the Facebook users, I came to this conclusion yesterday. I know that 80% of the people that use social media, what they do use is Facebook, but I also read last week that Facebook is full of malware. So that is perhaps why you have so many problems with your phones, because while you're scrolling, they are controlling your phone. And that's not the same with Twitter and other social media. So, you know, I don't use WhatsApp for the same reason. I think that they harvest your messages and use them to blackmail you later. And I know that because that's what happened to me. I don't know if it was the criminals or not, but anyway. Okay, thank you, Biggie. Anyways, so yesterday, Stefan from Pennsylvania suggested to me that the people that don't go to Washington D.C., for them to have their own little flyer distribution happenings going in your city. That's something, yeah, you can do, but I would certainly hope that that most of you that can make it to DC make it. We need to show that it is hundreds of thousands of us. I don't expect hundreds of thousands to go, but we need to show numbers. We need to show, like we say in Puerto Rico, it's not five cats. It's cinco gatos. It's not five cats that are suffering. Particularly, I would very much appreciate it if parents of children with V2K can go there and look at their representative in the eye and tell them, my daughter is being tortured by the CIA domestic operations in Denver. What are you going to do about it? It's not imaginary, friends. His imaginary friends don't talk about burning down your house. So we need to bring our compelling and real message. We need to prove that it's not fantastical, that it's very real, that it's been paid for taxpayer money. I had the good news. Yeah, you're going to connect with hundreds of them. I can tell you, those that went to targeted action, we had a really great time. We did the. I personally want to have live streaming from different locations, and I'm going to see how we can coordinate this, because for those that cannot be there in person, can be there in spirit. So that's why we need you to sign up, because we need to plan as best as we can, so that we can prevent as best as we can criminals infiltrating our activities. And we're just trying to plan to have enough of everything for everyone. And so that's that. Anyway, now the other thing that I wanted to share with you. Let me see. I don't know how to remove this from here, but let me see. Sounds good, but no one's here. What do you mean? Yeah, you're gonna meet a lot of people there. Listen, one phenomenon that happened in targeted action in Colorado was that people from Nebraska that didn't know TIs from Nebraska that didn't know each other got to meet there, and now they have their own little group back home. So you will probably get to meet people from your area or close, within an hour, whatever, and that's a good thing. So go to the share ride board at tievents.org, and just like I posted this week in my Substack, which I urge you, please go to it. Let me put it here. Yeah, there you go. Go to my Substack and you can find this. See, my dad, and I'm sorry for those of you that have heard the story 10 times, but I have to repeat it for those that have not, because he is a testament that there is nothing you cannot do. My dad was born with a physical disability. He couldn't walk until the age of 12. That he got 2 surgeries when there was no anesthesia. He was slept with ether, and he was able to walk with crutches. He had some sort of cerebral palsy, but he was a brilliant and beautiful mind. And so he, despite his disability, he graduated. He was he was dirt poor, and he grew up in the mountains of Puerto Rico. He went to a really good high school. Then he graduated from college in Puerto Rico. He was the best student there. And then he went to Wharton Business School. Yeah, this poor man in crutches from Puerto Rico. And for those of you that have walked through the ice of any Ivy League school like I did, I went to Columbia, and in the winter, those little brick roads, the ice would form in the corners, just like in UPenn. And imagine, every winter I would fall at least 10 times, flat on my butt, because the ice is so bad there. And so my dad, imagine walking with crutches and dragging your legs in the ice of UPenn for 2 years. Yeah. So that was my father, and he graduated, and he became a professor at the university. And he became an attorney, and he earned the medal, without being able to walk, of the best average GPA. Yeah. And what he taught me is, aside from courage, there's no excuse. If you don't do things, don't put excuses. Of course, he had an incredible mind and an incredible spirit. Number 2, there's always a way to get things done. Just like that TI said, well, maybe I can go to a camping ground. Exactly. Number three, never ever give up. And because we have never ever give up, we're here. We're here fighting the most powerful military forces in the world, and they have not been able to defeat us. So we have earned huge racks in our uniform of life, and we need to show up and demand freedom from modern day slavery. So I am counting on you for that. What if I can't get our representatives to speak us like mine in Arizona? Yeah, Darren. Well, guess what? Ask to see their aides, their legislative aides, or better yet, their legal counsel, because they all spend tons of money in counsel. So you can if it was me, this is what I would say. Are you telling, you can write me, are you telling me that as my representative who earns a salary to look into your constituents' problems, you do not have the time, nor any of your aides, nor any of your attorneys, to meet with me with my real evidence and my real concerns? Just ask that, you know? And that's what I think. That's what I say, that you ask him, because they have, what you have to be is, aside from sending the request, I put it here. Aside from sending the request, you have to call. You have to literally become a nuisance. And I'm not saying that in a bad sense. I'm saying that in the sense that only people that persevere get things done. Because as you know, the criminals are going to put obstacles. When we were in DC last time in May, I had people from the office of Eric Schmidt return my call. Then when I called back, they never answered because the criminals got in the way. We cannot allow the criminals to get in the way. We cannot. We have to be persistent. When you call, you say, what's your name? Okay, when can I call back again? When are you going to have an answer for me? In the Targeted Justice newsletter, we put, here's the emails, the email format for most of these people. So you can, if you have the name of the chief of staff, that's another thing you can ask for. I want to meet with the chief of staff. You're not asking for them to give you $1 million. No, you're just asking them to do their job, to listen to you. Okay, Darren. So I hope that works for you. Let me see. Does anybody have any questions? Let me see the comments. Is it hard for me to tell the truth? Look, Darlene, when I didn't know about this program, I'm gonna leave this comment down here so that people write down this fake email. Okay, that is not my email. Okay, that is a fake email. Please share. Okay, so Darlene, here's the thing. When I didn't know about this program, but I was still in Puerto Rico, I had people stand next to me and carry on one of these street theater conversations. Well, I knew it was a setup because my instinct told me, it's just too weird, right? That this person, like, one of the things that they do is they mess with your blood pressure. So for years, they had me obsessed about the blood pressure. And so they would put someone like when I was at the thermal springs that I loved, they would put some criminal there saying, no, because a man went in the water and he died. And I knew it was a psyop. So my advice to you is just wear music all the time if you can, and filter out. You know, there are small, simple ways that you can block them out, and one of them is have your earphones all the time listening to your music, and and of course, if you can have my recommendation, which I learned from somebody that knows a lot, if you can have like one of those little music players, because having your phone with you all the time, and particularly do not use, if you can avoid using Bluetooth, it just came out last week. They do subliminal messaging to you and they're cooking your brain with those Bluetooth earphones. So as a TI, I really don't recommend that you use them. I know they're convenient, but if you look at the really smart influencers on social media, like Mike Bentz, for example, who is a truth teller, he always has wired, because they know that these things, these wireless Bluetooth things, hook your brain. Anyway, go with your wired earphones everywhere you go. Oh yeah, I also saw a clip about Kamala Harris saying that she was in one of these committees as a senator, and that she used wired headphones because she knew that through the Bluetooth ones they could listen to your conversations, even if you're not, you're just listening to music. So for whatever that's worth, I urge you to wean yourself away from anything Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and wean yourself from the phone as much as possible, because the phone, for people like me, like right now, it's the phone is interacting, even though I have the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi off, it interacts with those people that have implants, because that's one of the ways that the criminals harvest your data, through your phone. So you're doing them a favor. You know how it is that they use your equipment to hurt you. So if you can have like a little, music player, one of those that you can buy and put put one of those mini chips in there, mini SD cards, and then just listen. Just let's go back to basics. Let's go back to 15 years ago, and let's and that way you're going to protect yourself. Again, that is not my email. That is a criminal perpetrator impersonating me to harvest information from you. Okay. Let me see if there's any other. Yeah, the street theater. You know what? They're so pathetic. Like sometimes when I walk around them, I'm just talking to myself and I say, just get a real job, because the gift cards are drying out. Never be confrontational. When I was in college, there was a gorgeous man that taught me this. You see, when I was in New York in college, New York still had not been cleaned up by Giuliani. I was there when the prior major was there. And there was still a lot of prostitution and crime and bad things happening. And he taught me this. He says, when you are in a little bit of fear because you're in a dangerous area, like it would be, I don't know, 43rd Street and 9th Avenue or something like that. Well, you start talking to yourself, obviously without the earphones, because then people think you're talking to, or you're going to be, to the in the earphones, and you can say you were talking to somebody, right? And start talking to yourself, and you watch how people will not come close to you because they're going to think you're crazy. So yeah, sometimes when I go to the supermarket and I wear my things, I just say, it's all coming. It's soon. It's all coming to an end soon. And they know it, because I got a TI from New Hampshire tell me that his gang stalking had gone down on 70%. Is that the experience for you? Switzerland, thank you. We're having people from Denmark come to targeted action, and I think I have somebody coming from Gabriela. Hola, hola, hermanita. Coming from Philippines. I'm not so sure. I have to look into today. And thank you, Greek Target. I know you're having a terrible time. Greek target. Um, Donald Trump Jr.'s former girlfriend is the ambassador there. I don't know if you are in America or over there, but to the people there, I urge you, you can go to the American embassy and try to ask for a meeting. I don't know, that just came to my mind. So let me see if I have any other questions that, yeah, I ignore most of these people because when you think of pathetic, lives going around hurting others, and think about this: these people are not good. They cannot even hold a real job. They have to engage in criminal enterprise. Please do not. Again, I'm trying to remove this. I'm trying to remove this comment from here because I don't want people to think. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. What are you saying, Lisa? Not in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, the gang stalking is still bad. Is that what you're saying, Lisa? Well, I'm sorry about that. I think that it's gone down for me, but as soon as I walk into the supermarket, I feel it. I feel it because I get my implants get activated. So okay. This week, I wish I could. I'm going to share it here with you. This week, this is really important for you all to know. You know how people have been, the V2K has been trying to point the fingers at everybody but who the real culprits are. I am certain, absolutely certain, that the V2K criminals have never said to anyone, yeah, it's the CIA doing it. All of us, we are the CIA, or we are defense contractors. They will never tell you the truth. They're not going to self-incriminate. What do these cowards do? Oh, it's Elon Musk doing it. And whether you like him or not, it's not Elon Musk. And this week we had, I'm going to play you this really important, let me see, I'm going to play it for you. Let me just put it here. Giordano, Dr. Giordano, who is a Department of Defense contractor and a very highly respected scientist, had this to say. For all of those of you saying that it's Elon Musk doing the V2K, first of all, Elon Musk wasn't around when V2K started. That in America, I think that the first documented case is in 1982 or 83. Okay. Number two, since 2004, this program went on steroids with a terrorist screening database. So here is Dr. Giordano. Let me share the screen. So you listen from the horse's mouth, you hear what he had to say.
This is why it becomes so important to understand the novelty and the viability of neuroscience is being leveraged as weapons. We then have the use of nanoparticulate agents. Aerosolizable nanomaterials can be breathed in and disrupt blood flow or neurological network activity. That can be used as an in-close weapon, or perhaps that can be used as a more broad weapon of disruption and or destruction. We also have the capability to utilize nanomaterials to get electrodes into a head and to create a vast array of viable sensors and transmitters. This is DARPA's N-Cubed program, next generation non-invasive neuromodulation, utilizing these techniques and technologies to create vast arrays of implantable electrodes that need not be put into the brain surgically, that are then able to read from the brain and write into the brain remotely in real time. And there is a rapid pace. Prizes are big, economically, in terms of power as well. But there are risks and hazards. Yeah, there are conventions that are out there, but the question then arises, are these conventions not just necessary, but are they sufficient? These international signatory treaties have suggested that no, they're not. They're really not keeping their finger on the pulse of the rapid development of brain sciences, not only within the United States and its allied nations, but internationally. And sometimes in programs that utilize commercial veiling to be able to then hide behind in terms of what's being made available to make their military intelligence personnel better, to develop a whole arsenal of weapons, both kinetically and non-kinetically, that can then decrement the performance of competitors and adversaries.
Okay. So
this is why it becomes so important to understand the novelty and the viability.
So I'm gonna do you a favor, and I'm gonna put that link here in the chat so that you can share that content. Notice that Dr. Giordano says you don't need to be surgically implanted anymore, because through the chemtrails and through the food and through the dental anesthetics, they're putting this nanotechnology on you. So please stop repeating information that you don't have evidence of, because it makes us look foolish. As I was telling one of our DRTIs that I really appreciate, there's a lot of things that I know, but I don't say because I don't have the evidence in my hands. And that's what I urge you to do. In order to be credible, we need to have evidence. If you go to targetedjustice.com, you will see the timeline of the weapons. You will see that when B2K and attacks that caused Havana syndrome started, neither Russia nor China had the weapons to do this kind of electromagnetic warfare on innocent people. And that's what we need to go convey to the people in Congress. Okay? Now, I wanted to touch upon something else. I got a, I get here, like my, is for everybody. Is your Rumble also freezing, or is it just mine because they want to harass me? Please, people in Rumble, let me know if the Rumble is freezing. Okay. So there's a page going around. I don't even know how they call themselves, saying that they can do ethical hacking to stop your B2K. First of all, hacking is a crime. No video on Rumble. Yeah, I'm telling you, Rumble is being hacked. That's why my gavel this week was not transmitted to Facebook and to YouTube. I had to upload it to Facebook yesterday. Rumble is having problems. Video is fine for me, for you. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, okay, so let me explain to you about this page. For those of you that got the link, and thanks to Javier, gracias Javier que me dijo, que me dijiste de esta página. I don't even know its link, and I'm not going to bother putting it here because I'm not going to give them promotion. But please understand the following. Hacking is both state and federal crimes everywhere in the United States. So if you fill a form saying, yeah, I want to participate in hacking, I don't want to think that you're being entrapped into, yeah, I want to be a criminal. That's number one. Number two, there is no such thing as ethical hacking. Number three, I don't think any civilian has the capacity to hack the CIA computers. Only the people in Anonymous. And they do it anonymously. So in my opinion, anybody that offers to hack your B2K is trying to scam you. They are the reason why I think it's an outlet created by on people that are not your friend or mine probably from the government, it's because, number one, you do not publicly advertise that you're a criminal hacker. And number two, that they dared put PACs and targeted justice in the little line, just like the line I have here, the little banner going down here. They put CNN, targeted justice, whatever. They don't have our authority or our endorsement. So, that is fraud. Okay. And it is my duty to tell you about it, because just like there's a criminal in Facebook with a group that I have written to Facebook, but since Facebook is in cahoots with this program, that wants to take every last penny, steal it from you. He's saying that he's called Targeted Justice Support, and they want to steal your money. So do not give your money away to anybody that purports to take away your V2K or purports to take you off the list, because they're scamming you. The FBI is not going to take your name off the list because some scanner took your money. The only way your name will be off the list is the day that Kash Patel wakes up from the slumber and realizes, yes, I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to eliminate handling codes 3 and 4 of the terrorist screening database, because I know that those people are not terrorists. Until that happens, or until President Trump orders it, or until Congress legislates and says the terrorist screening database can only have the names of known and suspected terrorists for whom there is probable cause. Until that time, because Congress has refused to touch with a 10-foot pole the terrorist screening database. And that's what we need each one of you that can make it to DC to go and show up and demand a meeting. Obviously, you have to coordinate it before with your representative, because they have to support Ana Paulina Luna's bill to eliminate the Patriot Act. They have to eliminate Section 702 of the FISA Act, that allows them to spy on us in order to destroy our lives before we can get anywhere. And we have them to act on the elimination of the FBI blacklist, which are the handling codes 3 and 4, which are hidden in the prohibited access files of the Sentinel system of the FBI, that Margot Cleveland and Senator Grassley exposed. If any of you is a constituent of Senator Grassley, we need you to demand from Iowa. I hope, I don't know who we have in Iowa. We need somebody from Iowa to demand a meeting with him. All of our delegation is going to go there. We're going to show up. They're going to have a huge conference room there for us. And we're going to explain what else is found in those prohibited access files. It's not case information. It's our nomination forms. It's the recordings they have made of our phone calls. It is the copies of the emails they have stolen from us. It is the photographs they had taken from us. It is the videos that they have taken from many of us, including those of us that have been physically attacked while incapacitated, while sleeping, or while, unconscious, just like they have done to Nancy Mace. That is what is hidden in those prohibited access files. And that's why we need to go tell Chuck Grassley. It's not just about the Rocha house. It's about the more than 300,000 innocent Americans, victims of this illegal program. We are counting on you. Okay? So, thank you. I'm not, that is no, Ethan, that is not my email. That it says it clearly. It doesn't belong to Ana Toledo. There is a criminal impersonator in Facebook trying to scam you. That is not my email. Okay? I'm going to put, 12 2025. I don't even know how these people have the evilness. These people are moved by Satan, the evilness of taking advantage of victims of this program that have not only suffered physically, but also that our property has been taken away, our pets have been murdered, our children have been taken away. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. I targeted action at proton.me. I'm going to put it here. Please don't fall for that scam, okay? Do not fall for that scam. Do not fall for that scam. Uh, Now, the criminals are not letting me, okay, here, show there. That is where anybody that is going to um, targeted action, if you enroll, if you register, and also, please be aware of this. I made the membership form. Okay, this is very important that you share. Please share. Please share. I made the membership form so that, I'm only one person, so that we can have good statistics to go show not your name, not your personal information, but statistics. For example, 83% of targeted individuals report having tinnitus. For example, 62% targeted individuals report hearing microwave auditory effect. For example, out of those two-thirds are men. Uh, Over 90% report gang stalking. Gang stalking is paid for by the 110 billion budget at DHS. So we need to tap onto Rand Paul, who is in charge of that budget, and tell him, you have to stop this because you are paying for the violation of law-abiding Americans, for the violation of their Fourth Amendment, their Fifth Amendment, and most importantly, the Eighth Amendment that prohibits cruel and unusual punishment. Okay, so please be really aware of that. That is not my email. That garble of Gmail, and it's happening where it's happening. It's in Facebook. Where it's happening, it's in Facebook. It's not anywhere else. So you cannot see. Yeah, Rumble has been freezing. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks. Oh, I guess Ortain is around. Thank you, my dear friend. Well, here's what's happening. I don't get angry. I get happy. Because here we are in our little space with 200 viewers. This is a tiny community here, right now. And the criminals are so worried that they are freezing Rumble. Imagine, we live rent free in their stupid little brains that are so hollow and have a little brain in there, right? That's why they have so much space in their head for us to live there rent free. And they are freezing Rumble. I don't know why the thing is with Rumble. I don't know. But the consistency, the solidarity, and the union among us is going to make that we're going to expose them. We're going to have them prosecuted. All those doctors that work for the CIA that concocted your torture manual and that of your little girl or little boy, those are the ones that we need to make sure each and every one of them goes to prison for life. For those of you in Colorado TIs, I invite you to do this. Write a letter to the medical licensing board and demand that they investigate the medical professionals working at the CIA, because they are engaging in torture. They are preparing the torture menus for innocent, law abiding Americans. They are the ones who determine whether you get B2K or not. They are the ones that determine if you get attacked, burns, or with satellites in your head. Those doctors that had a Hippocrates oath, and that have a license that should be removed from them a long time ago, and that are the Mengeles of this silent Holocaust. So for those of you in Colorado, get active. I know we have over there a couple of really active TIs. Get active. There must be thousands. Not. Yeah. Well, here's what I think of. You know, all those FEMA camps that they built to put all of us that were protested the COVID stuff. Well, I think that's what they're going to have to use for their jails, for their prisons, because there's going to be so many of them. We're not going to stop. I am telling you, until my very last breath, I am not going to stop fighting to get each and every one of these criminals in prison for life, because they not only engage in treason, but also in torture. So be very clear on that. And I really hope that you join forces with us. We need to go demand that there is a church committee part 2 in Congress, in the Senate, and that these people are held liable for their horrific crimes against humanity. It is ridiculous that the freest nation in the world is the one perpetrating crimes against humanity against more than 6 million civilians here in the United States and around the world, including little girls and boys and grandmothers, some of whom have died still being tortured. You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your messages of support. Yes, you have lost 2 cats. I have lost more than 2 cats. I lost 2 dogs. And they tortured them. And that's why every time I vicariously, what I do is I watch cat videos to get a little bit of that happiness that a pet brings you, but nothing substitutes the purr of a cat in your ear. But that's one of the things that I look forward to when this is shut down. I'll probably become a cat lady, because I will have to make up for all the years that I couldn't have a cat or a dog. And I really wish I could have a farm with tons of animals and rescue animals, because I don't buy animals. I rescue them. And so let me see if there's any questions here. I don't see any questions from you, so I'm going to shut down the stream, because I hope that I didn't disappoint. We said we were going to be here, and we're not. We're always, as I said, as long as I have a breath, I'm going to be here fighting for you all. And so is Richard. Richard, I also ask that you, sanctuary. I would love to have a wildlife sanctuary. I also ask that you cover him in prayer, please, because we are all being horrifically attacked. And I have to say here, nobody is perfect, right? I'm not perfect. We're humans. Only God is perfect. But I can only tell you this much, that I am very grateful to Richard, not only because he saved me, with Targeted Justice. He saw my email and he identified and that, Targeted Justice had tried to get an attorney and couldn't get an attorney for forever, because no attorney has the guts to take on our fight, our struggle. So not only am I grateful for that, but I have seen him talk to people in Washington and in other places. And I have seen how he just recites from the top of his head the dates, the weapons, the da 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 da, da and the technology, and he understands the technology. So um, I really think that people should appreciate that we can count on him. We can count on Dr. Priester, who has been a courageous warrior fighting big pharma and fighting the bioweapon. She's currently before the Supreme Court. And then you have our beloved Dr. Bear, who is an authority on Havana syndrome, which is the silent epidemic that one day they will wake up and say, oh my God, we have 100,000 cases of Havana syndrome. What are we going to do with them? Well, the first thing you need to do, which is what we have to go tell Congress, is you need to stop the use of electromagnetic weapons in the United States of America. Since the traitors at the CIA and Space Force don't get it, we need special legislation saying it is a crime to fire electromagnetic weapons at civilians in the United States, codified into a crime that entails death penalty. So let's do that. Thank you, Dove. Thank you, Dove has landed. Okay. Well, I think Rodrigo. Yeah, we have my heart goes out to the people in Argentina. Cash Patel just opened an FBI outlet there. I think it's illegal because I think that the FBI charter only gives them authority to have operations in the United States, just like it's illegal for the CIA to have domestic operations. And the people in Argentina are suffering horrifically. And they're shadow banning even more than in the United States. Anything outside of the United States. For those of you that watched The Gavel this week, there is a very courageous attorney that took on Pfizer and took on Bill Gates in a lawsuit for the bioweapon. He was taken from his home in the middle of the night, like wee hours of the morning, without any filing of charges, nothing, without going before any judge. He was just taken hostage, put into a prison a month before his case started. And that's why I tell you that even though targeting here is bad, there are some legal guarantees that these criminals cannot trespass, such as what happened to this very prominent attorney. I mean, a guy that has the know-how, just like the attorney in Germany that has been in jail for over a year for also fighting the bioweapon. And so for those of you that write to me saying, where can I go? I say the following. Number one, try to go to a rural area. A tiny house in a rural area that you can totally secure, as we advise. You screw the windows. You have all sorts. I'm going to make a little video of new gadgets I discovered. But don't live in a crowded area full of antennas. Let me show you the latest I discovered. The latest weapon of mass destruction. For those of you that have not seen it, I'm going to show you what the weapon of mass destruction looks like. This was in Arkansas. And here it is. Look at this. Let me share this the screen so you see it. Because my friend, who is also a TI and lives there, she lives within a fourth of a mile of this thing. and she view tab. There you go. Can you view tab? Okay, let me see. It's not letting me. It's not. Okay, here it is. At this stage, here it is. Okay, there you go. Can you see that beauty? That beauty. Well, she didn't know that that was a cell tower. That's a 5G weapon of mass destruction. And even though, here it is. You know, I hadn't seen it, but then when I went by, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what's that? Are you kidding me? What is this? Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so this, remember, 5G works only within like a very short, like half a mile, short, very short distance. I wouldn't doubt if they put this tower there for her. I swear to you. And so this is a Verizon tower. So when you're looking for a place to live, what you want to do is go to antennasearch.com, and let me write it here, to antennasearch.com, and then oh god, it was together, not separate. Hold on. Antennasearch.com, and look for the towers around you. You don't want to be close to that. Okay, you don't want to be close to anything like that. This is really a horrific weapon of mass destruction. I can tell you, I felt it. Okay, so let me read from stage. So that go to a rural area where you can have control of your AC and all of that, because in an apartment building you usually don't have any control of that, and they don't let you put some of the security features that are essential, particularly for women that are getting incapacitated and raped by these criminals paid for with DHS money. So if you're one of those victims, you know that you should come to DC and demand to see your senator or representative and tell them in very intelligent terms that this is happening. Okay, so your mother is, yeah, I know that one of our TI, one of the grandmas, that one of the mothers of a TI, she passed away at the age of 100, and until the day she died, she was tortured by these criminals, and it will be exposed, and it will be known to all the people that these people tortured until their last day. Nobody should endure this torture, but let alone somebody that should, in their golden years, be enjoying retirement and enjoying, a peaceful trip to the lake to fish. No, these criminals are not going to allow that. Okay, so let me see if you have any more questions. If not, I'm going to be saying goodbye. To all of you, I mean, I cannot emphasize. Look, I don't even have Wi-Fi here, and they continue to hack everything. As much as you can, try to eliminate Wi-Fi from your router. Take out the chip. It will invalidate the guarantee, but it's worth it. And you do it with a grounding bracelet. Yes, the reason why targeted action was not held, including the day of TI Day, was because, as you know, they're going to be in recess. So we didn't want to go there and waste your time and our time. So that's why we moved it 1 week, from the 5th to the 9th. We're going to have events. I need you to go to, let me put you here the link, I'm going to put here the link. We're going to be updating our um, activism, targeted action here. We're going to be updating our the information here in targeted action tab. Okay, so that you first of all know that the reason we're not putting it all out there right now is, number one, we're in the planning stages, and we need to know how many people we're going to have in order to plan accordingly. Number two, and most importantly, like we did in Colorado, we're not going to advertise everything weeks in advance so that the criminals can get their armies of perps in place. So in this one, you're going to have to trust us. We're going to have organized the rallies, the flyers distribution. We're going to even go into important metro stations with our banners and our flyer distribution. But we're not going to put it all on the tab, because if we do, we're going to allow the criminals to adequately prepare to sabotage us. So please bear in mind, you're going to be getting emails. Those of you that sign up will be getting emails from me. And I'm going to send you the full program and what we're going to do and where we're going to meet. So do not think you're going to go there and like, oh God, I don't know where to go. No, that's not going to happen. If you register with us and you get the email confirmation, you will get on your email or even through text. For those of you whose emails may be hacked, I can copy and send it through text messages. If you put your phone in there, we will do that. You are not going to be, and then I really wish we had volunteers that are willing to do live streaming from various locations, because I'm only one person. So if we have volunteers that are going to want to share, it's going to be great. It's going to be really awesome to have people simultaneously. We just want to be all over DC and not only impact the people that have the power to perform change, but also the people, the constituents of, the normal normies that don't know that these horrific things are happening. Okay? So, again, don't get your money to websites that promise that they're going to take your V2K away, because through ethical hacking, because there's no such thing. It's like, well, actually, it's like ethical murder. Is there such a thing as ethical murder? No. Murder is a crime. So is hacking. And the website looks very AI generated, and I think it's just a means to take your money away. So please, it boggles my mind how most of you are very, and rightfully so. I'm not criticizing, because I'm one of them. Very paranoid about giving your information away. But then anybody that promises, yeah, I'll take your V2K away, just give me all this information, you're willing to a total stranger that you don't even know who they are, give them your information. Don't do that. Do not do that. It's a setup. Okay, so please do not do that. And just I think that what's happening is this. I think that the criminals are scared about the bill they're going to have to foot in terms of the damages they're going to have to pay. And they're desperately harvesting data and information in order to make their stupid little presentations with their stupid little risk assessments, because that's what these people do. Somebody from the Navy once told me that all they do all day is presentations. All they do. They're obsessed with spreadsheets and presentations. And I'm sure that that's what they're doing right now. They're putting a dollar sign, a dollar value next to each of you to see how much you're going to have to dish out. So don't freely give your information, because you might be hurting your future causes of action. Now, I wanted to mention again that this is a silent night. I don't have it on because I don't know if it'll interfere or not with my transmission here. Even if it actually doesn't, but the criminals are going to make it as if it does. So I'm not. That's why I'm not going to turn it on. But this is one of the things that really helped me this week get better. And shield me from because for 2 weeks I was in in environments that were very EMF intensive, and because of my W band, I wasn't feeling well, so I got away from it, and obviously, this is a silent night, and as you know, the criminals tried to burn down Armando's shop because it works. If it didn't work, they wouldn't bother, right? And they wouldn't have bothered to block his capacity to sell online. So, and I know that for those of you that have used it, can give testament to it. So look it up. It's Target Source. Let me write it here. TargetSourceLLC.com. And and targeted justice has nothing to do with it. Okay. I only advertise it because it really works for me, and I don't go anywhere without it. It, it really works for me, and I don't have V2K. The people that do have V2K express that it substantially helps reducing the intensity. But I cannot give that testimony because I don't have V2K. But I can tell you that it substantially helps with my RNM and with the dream manipulation. You should not use it close to you should have it at least 3-4 feet, 5 feet away from you. Okay, you shouldn't put it like right next to your head. It's a live spark, so if you have, you cannot use gas or flammable stuff next to it. That's why you have to sign a waiver when you order it, or when you say you're interested in ordering it. But I can tell you that this has made my targeting life a lot more bearable. And at the end of the day, that's what we want. We want to be able to bear it until it's over, because it's gonna be over. As I mentioned in the beginning of this broadcast, we have Kash Patel firing people that persecuted the J6ers. He still needs to fire a lot more, but it's a step in the right direction. It's telling me that maybe he was able to get rid of the mind control. Number two, we have, as we know, Tulsi is working hard to continue to declassify documents. The declassification of the memorandum of the Biden administration classifying as violent extremist anybody that opposes the COVID mandates, that is huge, because that tells us that hundreds of thousands of people may have been put on the list because of that memo. Then last week, we had Chuck Grassley's unveiling of how parents that protested at school boards were classified as domestic extremists too. And that is huge for us. Many of you think, oh, that has nothing to do with me. I was targeted before. No, that is huge, because that is what is going to put our foot in the door. That is when they will investigate who, along these concerned parents that went to protest at school board meetings, who else has been illegally placed on that blacklist? Who shares the space of that second-class citizenship with these parents? And what's happening with the Bill Barr and Fani Willis conspiracy to target people like Alex Jones, people like Enrique Tarrio, Jim Jordan, President Trump, and many others, Nick Fuentes. That is huge. That is treason, and I think that you know that's huge. Number five, Christopher Wray, former FBI director, has been referred for criminal investigation. Number six, we know about the exposure of the 300,000 trafficked children, most of them that were brought from countries, illegals from other countries. And guess who was in charge of that agency? Alejandro Mayorkas, the one who was building the million man army of illegals to gang stalk law-abiding Americans. So, and I can go on and on and on. What I want you to be aware of is that good things are happening. Despite the setbacks that we've had and the physical, I know for all of us, the physical abuse has gone up. I know that. But we're stronger than them. And we can defeat them. We have to be smart about it. Watch what you wear and what you eat. Just this week, I made a huge mistake. It's not going to happen again. That's why we learn from mistakes. And I was poisoned. I got careless. Not going to happen again. Criminals. Fortunately, I had antibiotics. I had my silent night. And I have people that took care of me. So let's just be very watchful, because right now, this is my theory. The criminals are desperate to save their jobs and to protect their freedom, because they know what's happening. It's inevitable. So they have upped their ante in an effort of self-preservation for them, because their crimes will be exposed. So more than ever, you have to be really smart about protecting your home, your windows, your doors, just everything, because they're going to slap us into not noticing that we didn't lock the door well or whatever. So thank you for all your blessings. I really appreciate you. You have no idea how much, being receiving so much attacks from so many places, even some people. Hi, Tori. Even some people from our community. It is very gratifying to have people that express their appreciation, because sometimes the criminals make it feel as though nobody is supporting our work. Okay, so I really appreciate it, and I just urge. They have no ability to stop. Exactly. Yes, Jennifer. Nobody. This scam page. They cannot. Let me explain to you something. Armando, the inventor of the Silent Night, the way he got into learning about the technology and the frequencies and everything is because his wife. He's told the story. His wife had B2K, so he self-taught himself electronics and everything there was to learn about this, and he learned from the Lighthouse and from Richard, and he obsessed over it because he wanted to shut down his wife's B2K, and he was able to, but with a device he made that normal people cannot have, because you cannot block some signals, but since he lives in a rural area, you can do it in a rural area. And that's how it happened. That's how he got involved in this. But somebody that offers you online doing this without, you living in the middle of nowhere, where you can use certain technology to block this kind of frequency is lying to you. Don't fall for it. They're trying to take your money and they're trying to harvest your data. They're trying to know how much you've suffered so that they can come and tell you, here's $500,000, go home and sign this waiver. That's what they're trying to do. Don't fall for it. Torture you have undergone is more, it's in the billions. Okay? Don't fall for it. That's what I say. Don't fall for the scams. And just like I said in my gavel, you should be suspicious of anybody that asks you to spill all your information to people that you don't even know. Let me refresh what I said before. In Puerto Rico, I was the attorney for an insurance company. And the first thing they do when an accident happens is send an adjuster to take your testimony. That was the single most important part of evidence I would use when cross-examining anybody that then wanted to embellish their damages. Because that account that you made, that person made without having their attorney present, without knowing what subsequent damages they were having or whatever, or admitting, that leg was bad before, but then this fell on there, whatever. It's going to be used against, it could be used against you in the future. So do not commit to putting, write your story, write your ebook, put your information out there to create awareness. But don't commit to a statement under penalty of perjury that can come bite you in the butt later. That's all I'm saying. Be very careful who you give your information to. And I'm going to be posting. Somebody told me this, and I promise I'm going to do it today. First of all, if you see that the targeted justice page is down, let me know, because the criminals are jacking with it. Second of all, somebody told me that the flyers are don't come out in good quality, or they're blocking the flyers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a JPEG of the PDF flyers there and put an image gallery of them so that you can download the JPEG and print them out. Because actually, it's even a better idea for you that once you have the JPEG, you do a screenshot of it and then print it, because the criminals might tamper with the quality of the pixels. So I promise that today I'm gonna, the flyers that are in the activism, let me just show you here. In the activism, okay. In the activism page, let me show you here. These flyers that are for flyers here. I'm gonna copy for you the link. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's there. We already did it for you. Okay. So share this tab instead. Okay. Let me see if I can put it here. There we go. There we go. So here you have the flyers, the handout flyers and banners. Okay. This one, these are the ones that we took to Congress, and these are we're probably going to update some of it, but they summarize, they summarize the data, the data for which we have evidence about this program. Okay, here comes one. One is about the weapons, you see, and the Shrevers, and it's just, this is about the TSDB. Okay, and the admissions by FBI about how they put people in that list for secret criteria. Now, what I'm going to do is that the other ones that are down in here, let me show you these ones here. I'm going, these ones here that are a PDF, I'm going to, and the flyers for doctors, I'm going to make JPEGs of them and put them just like I put these ones. Okay? That's my promise to you. The other thing that I wanted to show you is the activism, the Targeted Action 2025 page. This is what it looks like. We have merchandise in the Printify shop with, thanks to Ortain that made us, and then we have also the link on here. It is Call to Freedom. We have two types of emblems, and so yeah, we have to know how many. You see, these are the banners. By the way, if we have a trustworthy TI that can write to us at Targeted Action 2025, because we need these are huge boxes. They're not actually, they're tall but not big, just long. Where these come in, if we can send these banners to your home, if you're in the DC area, please contact me at Targeted Action 2025 at proton.me. Targeted Action 2025 at proton.me, so that because we need somebody that can help us receive them, and these banners. So yeah, and so here's the Printify information. Here's a share ride, a TI events share ride board, and this is a tentative schedule for those of you that are asking. Okay. So we're going to be updating this. There's a payment link for Cornerstone. It's right there too. It's all the information is there. And yeah, this is the Printify shop. So we put as much information we could in there. Here, the general rules are back down here. One of the locations that we would want to go and put a big banner is in front of the White House, but we need a lot of people because we want to be in different venues, reaching as many thousands of people as we can. Okay? And so the rules are here. When you sign up, you agree to abide by the rules. If there's somebody that is being disruptive, that person's going to be asked to leave the premises. Okay? You should know that we come in peace. Targeted justice does not advocate for violence. In fact, anybody that does that, even on social media, we block them because we do not advocate for violence. Means of shutting down this program. You know, and so here's all the information. Again, we're going to be updating it. So make sure you check it out, and make sure the registration form is there too. See here. I think you can see it there. Targeted. I don't know if you can see it there. No, it's not. It's not. Share this one instead. Yeah. So here you have it. The registration form. So I don't see any more. Let me just remove this from here. Please share the information that's not my email. It's an impersonator. I have said it so many times, but it seems that it doesn't get to everybody that it needs to get to. Okay. Let me see. Who is B2K? Yeah, that's true. B2K. Well, look, anybody that tells you that they can hack the CIA servers is lying to you, unless they are from Anonymous. And Anonymous is not going to offer that kind of service. So, be a little more clever. Don't be gullible. I know you're desperate to shut it down. I cannot imagine the suffering you go through. I really can't. And I respect you all that have courageously survived it. But don't fall for it. These are criminals scamming you. Please don't fall for it. Let me see. Thank you, everybody. Well, okay. If you load up your energy, yeah. Many of us, technologies. Yeah, colleges, as I have said before, and this is when the CIA likes to shut me off, because they did it this week in the gavel. Don't think it's just the government that's going to have to pay us dearly. It's also the research institutions that are illegally harvesting our data in violation of the Fourth Amendment in collusion with these criminals. They're going to have to pay. They will be exposed for what they are, colluding with a criminal program that experimented on humans. Just like right now, the class action has been allowed to continue in Canada against McGill University and other universities, and the Royal King Hospital, whatever. They're going to be exposed. And that's why they're so scared. So we need you healthy. We need you to stop eating at McDonald's. We need you to start juicing. Go look into my page, my Substack. Try to do the juicing to remove the heavy metals from your body. We need you praying hard, right? Because that's the one way we're going to overcome these criminals. Manipulate, psychoglycy. I just want to make sure, because I offered I would be answering questions. Yeah, Trump is targeted, and a lot of people have Trump derangement syndrome, including people that make important decisions in the government, in all branches of government. And what I tell you is that you have to appreciate that the exposure of all the criminal tactics they did with the Russia collusion hoax is going to trickle down to us. For example, FISA warrants. Once they study the FISA warrants that were perpetrated against everybody around him, they're going to look into the rest. Project Mockingbird. Just last week, Tulsi, she didn't say it in these Project Mockingbird words, but she said Mockingbird, but she said the CIA and the intelligence community has been feeding information, false information, and censoring, colluding with the major news networks and journalists. So those people have been colluding with the criminals. When you collude with a criminal, you become a criminal. Who knows? Maybe their licenses will be taken away from them for criminal activity of colluding with the CIA and the intelligence community. So all of this is coming out. And that is why the targeting of President Trump, its exposure, and its prosecution is going to very likely expose what has been done to all of you. And then from there, it is our mission to expose how it's been done to people outside of the United States, innocent people that have been tortured by our own government, perpetrating crimes against humanity. Just yesterday, it was announced that the drug lords, the drug cartels, the government authorized the use of weapons against the drug cartels. Do not be mistaken. What they're doing is that they're going to fry them with electromagnetic weapons. And and in that case, you know what? I don't take exception to it, because anybody that brings fentanyl to this country to destroy our youth, they deserve to be as tortured as the CIA criminals that torture us. But as an attorney, I'm not supposed to say that, because I abide by the Constitution. But I think that's exactly what they're going to be doing to them. Anyways, in any case, it's good because the CIA will run out of money. Once the cartels are destroyed, the drug money that the CIA uses is going to dry up, and that's always a good thing for us. Okay. Good morning, Autumn. You're waking up late. Thank you for being here. And then Pointel Pro FBI. Yeah, we cannot leave off the hook InfraGard, because just yesterday President Trump did really something really good. And again, for those of you that have Trump derangement syndrome, I'm sorry, but these are good things for us. Okay, he yesterday issued an order saying that the heads of the agencies have to be the ones signing off on grants, and that is a great thing. Because if Christine Owen signs off on grants to Citizen Corps that goes around chasing us and doing surveillance and getting into our property, she will be personally liable for that. She has to look into, wait a minute, where am I giving the money to? That is a good thing. Look it up. That happened yesterday. The heads of agencies have to sign off on the grants. We're not going to have any more DEI hires giving money for chasing us around. Okay? Because now they're liable for financing these crimes against humanity. So that's a good thing. It's good things are happening. I have to repeat it and repeat it. So the problem is that the results are not instant. They take a little time to happen. Okay? Just like, for example, I want to hear from people from outside of the United States if their gun stalking has gone down outside of the United States in the places where USAID was operating. Because with the shutdown of USAID, we think, right, that we think that the gun stalking should have gone down. I think. So for the person that came in late and is asking about where to sign up for targeted action, I'm putting here the link again. Okay. Let me see. As they expect accountability to where the money goes and has gone. Yeah. The good thing is this, that Doge taught us that there's a money trail. When this, and I think that one of the things that Doge uncovered were parts of this illegal program. And they're dealing with how to expose this. So I think that the paper trail is there to prove it. Unlike MK Ultra, where the CIA destroyed 80% of the documents, but because they got greedy and they got ambitious. You've got documents at DHS, you've got documents at FBI, you've got documents at individual corporations that enter into the FBI portal to report any interaction with us. You've got documents in InfraGard. You've got documents in Citizen Corps. Then you have documents in that huge warehouse close to the Pentagon that I wrote about, where it seems the stuff they steal from us, the documents and the records, have been stashed away. There is too much of a paper trail for them to deny it. So, contrary to what happened in the 70s with the obliteration of the MK Ultra records at CIA, by getting greedy, what they did was create a huge repository of records in different places. And that's good for us. Okay, let me see. El deep state dentro de las agencias que han creado este sufrimiento. Absolutely. Agencies have deprived people of their of their rights. Courts have deprived people of their rights. Last week in the Gavel, I discussed how a very good paralegal that worked for J6ers that were representing themselves pro se and were suing the Bureau of Prisons for denying them medical care. Well, a court in, I don't know if it was DC or Virginia, took away her 5-year-old son. And that is the kind of judicial collusion that will be exposed. She does not seem to know that she's a targeted individual. She's just fighting tooth and nail for her son, just like I did. So that is why we need to go up there. We need to red pill these people and let them know that they are victims of a criminal unacknowledged special access program that weaponized government against her. It's not that she just got a bad judge. She got a judge that is colluding with this program or that is mind controlled, because that's always a possibility. I tend to think that people know and people are paid off or blackmailed. But Richard Lighthouse, who knows much more than me, asserts that in most of the cases it's mind control, because the CIA can mind control people to even commit murder. Haven't we seen last week there being like 5 shooters? The last one was yesterday in Atlanta. The day before, it was a man in Florida that killed his wife, the mother, the grandmother, and his child. Ran all soaked in blood to tell a neighbor, and then he pulled a gun on himself. He had had years of mental illness. It's not mental illness, it's torture by the CIA criminals. And when somebody starts connecting the dots, that's when things will happen. So, yeah, they are capable of mind controlling a person to murder his wife. Maybe they told him, if you kill them, the 3 of them will the V2K will go away, which is always a lie. Maybe that's the lie they tell them. Who knows? Because there's no other explanation but the microwave auditory effect for somebody to perpetrate such a heinous crime. For those of you that have survived it, again, I commend you and I honor you. So I'm not going to answer comments that are inappropriate, because I'm not going to give the criminals the opportunity for that. Well, I think we're done for today. Thank you for being here. Please do not miss tomorrow Melissa Miller's Chosen Hero. She's going to have one of our star digital warriors, Sterling Langton, and I hope he can share with you his success, his pitfalls in the digital warrior efforts, because he is reaching out to people, and our goal is, through the peaceful use of our verb and our posts, to create awareness in the entire United States population. So do not miss Melissa Miller tomorrow, Chosen Heroes at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And also next Wednesday in the Gavel, I'm going to have an awesome, I'm going to have a really great, amazing man that I have admired from afar. And I am so honored to have him. It's the first interview I'm going to do in the Gavel. So it's going to be a little longer because I need to cover all these good news that I've been telling you. But also, I'm going to have an interview of this man that I have admired from afar. and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it because I'm going to watch all his interviews and ask him the questions nobody has asked him, and not private questions, of course, but about his plight, and so I think it's going to be really cool. So please don't miss the Gavel on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and and uh, and it's going to be really, really good. Okay, so I'm counting on you. God bless you all. God bless this community that stands behind us and that makes it possible for me and for Targeted Justice to continue fighting for you all, not just a single person with a capacity to pay, but for all of you, okay, that have been legally deprived of your right to freedom from slavery. Okay, I think that good things are in the works, so please don't lose the hope, because that is what, and don't lose the prayer, because that is what keeps us going. Okay, thank you so much, and stay strong, stay praying, and stay awoke, not woke, awakened in the knowing, in the news and in the social media. Let's keep on red pilling people. Okay, have a blessed day, and thank you for being here.